Not For Sale podcast, episode 726 of the podcast. We got Joe Rogan and Tim Kennedy talking about censorship. But now this is not just regular old censorship. They're talking about the censorship that Tim Kennedy is currently going through with Meta. He's going to break down what happens when people try to follow him, when they try to find him, when he tries to post things, when you try to repost what he's done. They also start talking about, well, they've already talked about Mike Glover. If you don't know Mike Glover, he's someone who is very much like Tim Kennedy, ex-military, all about being prepared, being alert, knowing how to operate anything and everything so you can be prepared and take care of your family. And the one thing that all the people that they run through in this clip have in common is that they have served their country, that they are prepared to be self-sufficient, and that they are pro-America. Go figure. Let's get into this clip right now. Joe Rogan, Tim Kennedy.
He shouldn't be. The dude's an amazing American.
Well, just the motivation to put him on that list is so fucking strange. He's teaching people to be prepared.
Yeah, I'm like shadow banned. If you try to share one of my posts today, you're going to get a notification from Instagram that I am sharing misinformation. And if you try to follow me on Instagram, if you go to Tim Kennedy MMA, you won't find me. You have to go down until I have couple million followers, and you will not find a verified. You'll see 20 fake Tim Kennedys until you find the verified Tim Kennedy. And then if you click on it and you say follow, it will give you a thing that says Tim Kennedy spreads misinformation. And you have to say, okay, follow, for you to follow me on Instagram.
Didn't they tell you that you had to remove certain factual posts?
Yeah, I did. I deleted them all.
And what were they?
One was that Epstein didn't kill himself. The other one...
What the fuck does that have to do? Imagine that being a controversial position.
Yeah. Well, there's three of them. That was one of them.
That was one of them.
The second one was I listed economic problems within the American government that a couple $1 trillion was missing before 9/11. And
the Donald Rumsfeld speech.
That's the one.
Yeah.
He specifically said, but he did not say missing.
Right.
He said unaccounted for.
Oh.
So the third party fact checker that I got a strike from because I said that we were missing over $2 trillion or $2 billion before 9/11 that then went missing after 9/11. They said, no. He didn't say missing. He said unaccounted for. So you're spreading misinformation. That was strike number 2.
Did you go back and edit it, or did you have to delete it?
No, I just deleted the whole entire thing.
Just to keep your account?
Yeah, to keep my account, but I'm still, like I said, it can't be searched, won't pop on Discovery, can't share my posts, can't follow me.
Yeah.
It's like they're doing the thing. And then the third one was my son and I were playing Nerf. And it was a video in first person of me chasing my, at the time, 7-year-old with a Nerf gun. And they said that I was violated the community guidelines of sharing violence and encouraging violence. And it was a Nerf battle between me and my 7-year-old, which I also deleted. But that post currently still says your strike is from violating the community guidelines of encouraging violence and
Nerf guns.
A Nerf battle with my 7-year-old.
What about video games? If you play some war simulation video game, is that a violation as well?
I don't know.
I know they ding people on hunting. You have that Montana Knife Company hat. Josh from Montana Knife Company just posted something that he's been attacked because he showed a hunting photo because his wife killed late season elk with a rifle, and they said a photo of this Nosler rifle, this beautiful rifle, the elk that they shot, the animal that they harvested that they're going to eat, and that he got notification that his account cannot be shown to anyone other than his followers.
It's insane.
What?
Yeah.
What are we doing?
A great small business guy that gives back in incredible. Another great human, where one of my friends, Af, he's a command sergeant major in 7th Special Forces Group. And they do this thing in this change of responsibility where they give gifts. And normally it's like something dumb, like a lighter that's engraved, right? So I hit up Josh. I was like, hey man, one of my homies that I went to war with this guy. I love this man to death. Af is one of the greatest humans to ever walk the face of the planet. Can I buy some knives and can you hook me up, with a good deal? He makes the 7th Special Forces Group red color for their the emblem that you wear on your beret, that red, he puts on the handle of the Speed Goat. Then he makes it black, and then he takes the crest and he puts it on the blade, and then he sends it to him to give to his dudes. And Never saw an invoice, just like Josh being Josh, dude.
No, he's the best. I went pig hunting with him recently. Such a good guy. And amazing business and an amazing story of a guy who he came up with a name, Montana Knife Company, and copyrighted it or patented it or whatever in I think he was 19 years old.
Right.
Yeah. And the company's only been around for a couple of years and it's fucking gigantic. It's huge. It's killing it.
They make great knives.
They make amazing knives. Amazing
I'm
knives.
trying to talk him into making some fight. So like, obviously, while I didn't want to get murdered by a bunch of terrorists when I was overseas, so I had stuff to like take care of me. And I send Josh a photo of me with one of his bigger knives. It's like I kept it right underneath my body armor as I was cruising around that kind of contested area of southern Israel, and that knife is just like sitting underneath my body armor. And thankfully, I never had to use it, but it would also have been a picture I would have sent to Josh, and he'd be like, "Dude, I don't want to see this.
Yeah.
You are such a psychopath."
Right.
It would have been blast though.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, he probably doesn't want to see that, but it's just insane, that kind of censorship, and I don't understand it. I don't understand who it's who is following him in the first place. I mean, he makes a hunting knife it's a hunting knife company.
Who does it benefit for them to censor me? I
don't understand it. It's leftist people that are involved in these organizations that have a very specific ideology that they adhere to, and they think that anybody who is pro-America is in some way, shape, or form negative.
Yeah.
And I don't get it. And I'm sure I'm on some of those lists.
Yeah, for sure.
But I'm like I fucking sneak through.
You're kind of too big to mess with.
It's odd. Well, I'm friends with Zuckerberg, which is nice.
Yeah, that'd be nice.
I can text him and go, "Hey man, what the fuck is going on with this?"
Yeah.
And he's a good guy, but his company is run. I mean, he's a publicly traded company that is filled with people that are in the tech industry. And I think a lot of those people are out of their fucking mind.
Yeah.
They're out of their fucking mind. And I had a conversation with Elon about it last night. We discussed it. He says it's a death cult. He says these people in a death cult. They think that there should be less human beings. They think that human beings are the problem. And they just have this specific ideology that they want to push on everyone. And anything that's even remotely opposed to that, like hunting. Most of these, how many of these people fucking eat meat? And somehow or another, they think that hunting somehow or another is in opposition to this leftist position.
Yeah. X has gotten really fun.
X is so much fun now.
It's so much more fun.
That wild motherfucker spent $44 billion, and we discussed it last night. We did a podcast last night, and he said, "I don't want to sound melodramatic, but I did it to save humanity." And I think it's true.
The only place that I can have a rational conversation and actually say what I think, as you should be able to do in the First Amendment way.
And not worry about getting banned.
Yeah. And I'm not saying crazy, like you could go and read every single thing that I've ever said on Twitter. I'm not saying wild stuff.
Right.
There's no like inappropriate, like I try to say some funny things sometimes, but not like any of your freaking hilarious comedian friends, like the dude that just walked out.
Shane Gillis.
That guy is so funny.
He's a man.
Dude, he is so funny.
Yeah. I got him working out.
Dude.
I got those guys working out. I
Good.
brought my buddy Brian Simpson was here, Duncan Trussell was here, Matt McCusker. I told those guys, I go, if you want to work out, I will take you through a workout. I go, I won't kill you. We're going to build up slowly. So today was the third day. I've got them pushing themselves, but nothing crazy.
Nice.
I don't want to break you down. I don't want you injured. I go, I will develop a very specific program and get you up to speed. And as long as you stay consistent, you will see radical changes. And
in your life in every measurable way.
And they're seeing it. They're
That
seeing
is
it.
so
I got
cool.
them cold plunging. I got them in the sauna. They wanted to quit. They wanted to quit like, we'll just do 10 minutes. I go, fuck that. I go, you doing 20 minutes. I threw water on the rocks. I go, now let's make it harder. I go, we're going to do 20 minutes, man.
Dude.
And I go, when it's done, you're going to feel good that you got through those 20 minutes because those last 10 are going to suck.
Yep.
Because you get in the first couple minutes, like, this is not that bad. I go, right. It's not that bad yet. Wait till 10 minutes comes around. 10 minutes, you're going to feel uncomfortable. But you can survive it. And you just have to learn how to just accept the fact that you're suffering.
Yeah.
Just
Dude,
deal with it.
That's so awesome.
And then they get in the cold plunge afterwards. And in the beginning, he could only do like a minute. He's like, fuck this. And I'm like, listen, man, it's all in your mind. And you're going to realize that when you do it a second time and a third time. And now he's doing 3 minutes.
So
now he gets in
get
there.
out in that endorphin, serotonin,
He
dopamine
said, dude, it's like
pump.
I'm on Molly.
Yep.
I go, yeah, because what happens is your endorphins, your dopamine ramps up by 200% naturally in a healthy way. It makes you nicer to people that you run into. You feel better, and it lasts for hours and hours throughout the day.
Who's the Stanford neuroscience?
Huberman.
Like
He's amazing.
He did a podcast on the benefits and also the approach and methodology and process of cold plunging and sauna.
Yeah.
And like I just copy and pasted that whole entire yet again, here it is, discipline, process, and hard
Yeah.
work. I took his process, the way that he recommended to do this for both sauna and cold plunge. It's just life-changing.
Huberman got censored by Wikipedia. You know what happened? Huberman, I had Robert F. Kennedy Jr. on my podcast, and Huberman made a comment, and that comment was, I hope that more presidential candidates submit to long-term conversations like this. That's all he said. They removed all his published papers, all of his peer-reviewed, all of his work, all of his papers that are scientific papers. They removed all of that from Wikipedia. You no longer see
How is that
his
possible?
How is it possible? How is it? How insane is that? And they locked down his account where you can't edit it anymore. They literally and they said something about, I don't know what negative thing, I don't want to even say about it, but it's fucking insane. So what does Elon do? He offers Wikipedia $1 billion to change their name to Dickipedia.
Is he just a crazy person?
He's a wild motherfucker.
Dude, that's wild.
That's true too. And Elon was actually willing to pay. But just to say, do you see like the pattern? A scientist who helps people improve their lives, gives them information to improve their sleep, their physique, their eyesight, their eating, their energy, everything. Guys who have served their country, who are really good men. I was questioning Tim Kennedy a few episodes ago, but that's what you do as a fully informed person who's trying to gain perspective and understand things more. But to silence someone like Tim Kennedy, to make it so you're branding him as someone who spreads misinformation, is crazy. Scientists, military people like Joe Rogan, because Joe, whether he knows it or not, he can't be banned, really, shadow banned or anything, but they can do what they did to Tucker Carlson, which is kind of, just slow it down. Whatever he puts out, they can slow it down. You got 15 million followers. Well, guess what? We're only going to show this to 500,000 people. And he'd never know, right? Because he doesn't look at his social media. He'd never know. So I don't see Joe Rogan stuff all that much. But people like this, Mike Glover, people who want us to be prepared if anything happens. People who want us to be self-sufficient. People who want us to be well-informed. Not just on topics like Joe Rogan talks about, but on science like Andrew Huberman talks about. These are the people who are getting silenced. These are the people who are getting censored. This is wild. I'm about to do another episode as well. Jim Jordan, if you don't know who Jim Jordan is, look him up. He's a great guy. He was running for Speaker of the House. He didn't make it. I wish he did, but he just released something where he actually found a bunch of documents showing people who got censored on all platforms. And on Twitter, it was like Donald Trump and Candace Owens and Charlie Kirk, people who were really getting censored. Really, a lot of agencies were sending email to Twitter, old Twitter, before Elon took over, and saying, can you please take this down? Can you please slow this down? Can you please suspend this account? They didn't do anything wrong, I know, but could you please do, a lot of accounts. There's a massive list of everything from Twitter to TikTok to 4chan of people who were being censored. And this stuff was not hate speech, because I've looked over the list. I'm working on this episode. There's a lot to go through. But this was not hate speech. It was people talking about how to vote securely, how to make sure to track their votes, people who were just trying to help other people out, just being good citizens. This is the type of stuff this is the type of stuff they were requesting to have censored. How deep? I shouldn't even say how deep does it go, because I don't think any of us really want the answer. But the fact that they're willing to do this to guys like Tim Kennedy, the fact that they're willing to do this to everyday people, me. So many people have emailed me and messaged me on my website and said, hey, man, I think something's going on. I can kind of see it. I've been stuck at 81,000 subscribers for, I don't know, a month. It's just sitting there. It's like, I don't know. Someone said that they got unsubscribed, but they didn't unsubscribe. It's just wild. Why? That's the real question. It's not who, because it's anybody who goes against the narrative. We all know that. But why? Why? What is it? If Mike Glover is saying, I want people to be prepared in case of anything. Mike Glover's not even talking about anything anti-authoritarian or anti-establishment. He's just like, terrible hurricane hits where you live. Tornado hits where you live. Everything's in chaos where you live. I want you to be prepared. I want you to know how to can food. I want you to know how to take care of yourself, how to heal up a wound, how to clog it, how to sanitize a wound, how to clean it out. All this things like that. Why wouldn't they want people to know stuff like that? Tim Kennedy, same thing. He's always talking about preparedness. He teaches people how to be prepared in case a situation happens where they get attacked. It's more like self-defense, jiu-jitsu, things of that nature. Why do they want him silenced? Joe Rogan, he's posting things about monkeys. Let's be real. Joe Rogan on social media, he's posting things about apes and ghosts and things that he thinks are cool. Like I saw him on Twitter. He posted something about like samurai culture. Why don't they want these guys? It seems like the men who could be the absolute best role models for young men who don't have any. And I know because I grew up without my dad. I didn't have many older male role models. So I understand how important it is to have that. And it seems like the men who would be the best for that are silenced for some reason. Censored for some reason. It's very odd. Andrew Huberman is a huge example of that. If you don't know who Andrew Huberman is, look up his podcast. It's incredible. Anything that you have with your body that you're going through, he has a 3-hour podcast about, whether it's sleep, your eyes, food, nutrition, physique, anything and everything. He does these in-depth podcasts about it. And on top of that, he's a legit scientist and he has legit papers and he does his own research. He actually has he has scientists under him they're doing research constantly. For Wikipedia to take all that away because he said something positive about RFK, and not even positive about RFK, it was like adjacent to RFK, For them to take away all his work and make sure you couldn't edit his stuff, it's like, what kind of world what are we living in? What is this? How deep how deep is this going? And the sad thing is there's not going to be another Elon Musk that's going to be like, let me buy this Meta thing. How much for it? He's not going to do that, And Mark Zuckerberg's not going to have a coming to God moment and be like, you know what? It's not happening. No one's doing that with any of these platforms. No one's doing that with TikTok. It's like, that was the only time that's going to happen. And it revealed a lot to us, but there's so much more to be revealed. Let me know in the comments what you think about all this. What you think about people getting silenced like this, and what could be the reason for it. There's so many times in these videos where I talk and, I'm getting like Joe Rogan. It's like, if you've heard me talk about this, sorry. But I always talk about that attack within, I always talk about that within decay. Like, who's decaying things from within? Why are they doing this? Whose side are they on? For pro-American people, patriot types to be censored, it just makes no sense. It makes no sense. And that's the thing. If you're doing that to someone who's pro-America, are you anti-America? I don't want to make that quick assumption like that, but it's just odd. Because you think if somebody's pro-America and they want the citizens to be well-informed and well-prepared, you think no matter what side you were on politically, you'd be like, I'm for that. That's necessary. That needs to be done. But it seems like, no. It seems like some people don't want that. It's weird the things that have gotten demonized in the world. Very weird what's gotten demonized. Now if you're a patriot, that's associated with like racist white men if you're a patriot. I've been called a patriot. I've seen the comments. People calling me patriot. Does that mean I'm a racist white guy? It's so odd. It's so odd. I often have conversations with someone who I've had on the podcast, my friend Kevin Soldo, and we often talk, and I always refer to it, and he does too, as like the upside down world, because everything's upside down. If you're if you're completely not in good shape, that's a good thing. If, I don't, you know all the things that have changed. Now we're calling this that. We're calling women this. We're calling men that. It's so weird how everything's gone upside down. I used to see it in hip hop more than anything. And I would always be like, wow, hip hop is really, it's like upside down, like right down to the basic. Bad means good. Good means bad. It's like, this is very weird. People who should be condemned for the most part, or at least not looked up to, are revered and respected. People who are hardworking people are looked down upon as if they are those like as if they're criminals, And I'd see that in hip hop and I'd be like, that's such an odd thing. But now, over the past 6 years, you see it just in the public. Everything has just been inverted. It's weird. Who wants this? And why do they want it? What good does it do? My first thought is just destabilization. That's it. But destabilization for what? What are you trying to usher in? And don't you need the people? But I mean, let's face it. If everybody was jacked, 200 pounds, well prepared for any situation, that doesn't work. If you have 350 million, which I think the population is actually closer to 400 million. If you have that many people that are already prepared, jacked, good morals, good role models, you can't control those people. You don't want that. Let's be honest. I like to ask questions, but I know the answer. But I want you to ask questions. I want you to think about that. Let me know in the comments what you're thinking. And other than that, I'm out. Like and subscribe. And emails. I'm trying to amass emails. If you've watched to this point, you're a special person. I'm trying to get people's emails for my website because I'm working on something. And I want to be able to update people directly. I want to be able to communicate with people directly. So I think that's going to be necessary in the future. All right. Other than that, I'm out.